In this episode, I will be taking you through a membership Q&A where I'll be answering questions on topics like why I believe memberships are better than one-on-one coaching and services for most cases, how you'll get your audience members to stay and actually enjoy your membership, the biggest mistakes I see online coaches make when launching or running a membership, and how to actually get your members to engage on their own inside of your community. Welcome to the $1 Million Memberships Podcast, where we help female entrepreneurs like yourself start, grow, and scale multiple 6- and 7-figure online memberships with simple, step-by-step strategies that actually work.
Your life is about to get so good.
Let's dive in. Really quick, I want to send you my membership starter kit completely free. And I might be absolutely insane for doing this because it's normally $147 and it's packed with templates, pricing guides, setup resources to launch your membership, naming your membership, literally all of the things. I want to send it to you for free. And all I ask in return is that you leave this podcast a 5-star rating and written review on Apple iTunes. That's it. Seriously, that is it. So pause this if you are listening to this on Apple Podcasts, scroll down to the bottom where you see the reviews, tap the 5 stars, leave me a written review, screenshot it before you submit it, and then send that screenshot to support@paigevandy.com. I will leave it all in the show notes for you. I'll leave the instructions in there, but that is literally it. Once we verify it, we'll send you the starter kit completely for free. No strings attached, just your review. I'll leave the instructions in the show notes, so it's so easy for you to do, and then you can come back and enjoy the episode. Welcome to another episode of the $1 Million Memberships Podcast. Today we are getting into a Q&A, and if you missed it, if you don't follow me on Instagram, actually, I'll start there. This is where a lot of these questions came from. I have decided that on this podcast, on the last Monday of every single month, I would love to do a Q&A on here because I usually do Q&As on my Instagram stories, but you know me, I'm a podcaster. I love to just rant and go on topics. There's just you just can't necessarily get everything you need to say across on a little Instagram story. And I love Q&As. I love doing them. I love answering your guys' questions. There's always so many good questions that come in. And I decided that I need to bring this to the podcast. So the last Monday of every month, we are doing a Q&A. So let's get into it because we have a lot to cover today, honestly. Like I said, these questions came from my Instagram. If you don't follow me on Instagram, it's at the Membership Muse. You can go follow me. You can submit your questions. And that's a really good way to just get what you need answered about memberships. So go follow me there. The link for my Instagram is in the show notes. And again, you can ask your question on my questions box when I do it, or you can literally just slide into the DMs, ask me a question, and I would love to put it on one of our Q&A episodes. So let's get into it. Question number 1 I got was, what makes memberships better than one-on-one? So I'm going to break this down into 2 parts because I could make this entire episode, honestly, on this topic of why memberships are so freaking good for the majority of your businesses, those who are listening in the online space, either coaching or online service providing is what we focus on here. Let's break it down into 2 areas. The first area I want to break this down into is client transformation, right? Because that primarily is what we really want to focus on. Yes, we want to scale our business. Yes, we want to put a membership in there to scale and make more money and improve our lives. But at the end of the day, your business does not run if your clients are not seeing results, are not getting good results, are not happy. And that always needs to be our primary focus, right? Always. So let's break it down. The first one is, let's just look at client transformation when it comes to having a membership model. The one thing I want you to remember of what memberships really do is I want you to remember the power of the pack. And what the power of the pack is. This is what ends up happening when we are in a group, when we are in a community of people. So let's just say we have somebody who is on a fitness journey, okay? They maybe just have not, maybe they're working towards a goal that they've never had before. They've come to a plateau in their fitness journey and they're needing support. They can't seem to move the scale, or they can't seem to lose the inches, or whatever it is. Let's just now say that this person is working with a one-on-one coach. And let's say they're doing everything. Like they feel like they're following their plan to a T. They feel like they're eating well. They're doing all the things. But let's just say the things are not working still. Let's just say they're not seeing the results they need to see. Maybe what the coach can see is that, hey, you're right on track. It is going to move soon, but it's a slow progress. Keep going. Okay. So the coach is there saying and cheering them on and saying, no, you're doing great. Trust me. It's just part of the process. However, if that person doesn't actually experience that, if that person has never actually done this before and they've never experienced this plateau and they know that their coach is saying trust them, but they've never actually experienced like what this is like and what happens after, it's going to be really hard to actually keep up thinking, okay, this is going to work, especially when your coach is just working with you, so you don't see their other clients, and what you do see about their other clients is the wins and the testimonials and the results that the coach shares on their Instagram story. Again, that's not a bad thing to do. It's not bad to get one-on-one coaching. It's not bad for the coach to be showing client results one-on-one. However, it doesn't give the person that sense of, I see other people on this journey as well. Now, let's just say that this person is in a membership. And you know what? Let's just say it's a mid-ticket membership. Let's just say they actually do have customized workouts. It's a higher ticket, mid-ticket membership. They do have customized workouts. They are getting a lot of touch points with their coach on the calls every month. Let's just say things are mainly the exact same, but now they have a community and they can go into that community and say, hey, is anyone else experiencing this? Like, I know that blah, blah, blah membership founder, leader, whatever said that this is normal, but like, I don't know, this is feeling so frustrating. And then you have Sally, who's going through the same thing, who pops in and says, oh my God, I know it's the exact same thing. And I had the same thing, but guess what? I did stick it out and this happened. Keep going. And then maybe this person who's struggling looks in the chat the next day and they see that someone else is also struggling with it. Or maybe they check the chat the next day and they see that someone else just nailed their morning routine and shared it with the group. And all of a sudden that person has motivation. They're feeling inspired to keep going. What this is this is just realistic expectations and experience of the ups and downs of a journey. And it does not matter if you have a fitness membership, a business membership, a parenting membership, whatever kind of membership you have. It doesn't matter, because whatever membership you have, there is some sort of result or transformation or goal that your members have inside of this, right? Whatever it is, a membership gives people that realistic expectation. It gives people a holistic experience. It's not just trying to chase the highs and the highs and the highs because that's what you've seen from your coach working with other people on their Instagram stories. You're actually in it with other people experiencing everything. And that is what's going to get your members to actually stick it out rather than just be like, oh, this isn't working for me. This one-on-one coach that I'm working with, they share so many amazing results and testimonials and it's not working for me. Once this program's over, if I don't get my result, I'm out. Right? That doesn't happen with memberships. It's more of a holistic, long-term thing, which for a lot of you listening, the result that you want to get your people inside of your membership is a holistic, long-term thing. Most of the results aren't happening in 1 month. The other thing that ends up happening is that bonds are formed. And when bonds are formed, a community is formed. And when a community is formed and you are a part of that community, you want to stay. Even if there's not much going on inside of the membership except for the community, it still makes you want to keep paying to be an active member, to be a part of that community. And this is not just my experience, even though this is something that I have experienced and that I've seen since, again, being in this industry since 2014, actually starting my business technically in 2017, and being around so many programs, so many different communities, so many different program types. It's not just my experience that I'm saying this from. It is proven, it is researched, it is proven that people who commit to a community when they are trying to achieve a certain goal, whatever the goal is, again, it doesn't matter what the goal is, it's just whenever someone commits to a community to reach a goal rather than doing it on their own, they're more likely to achieve that goal. And again, why most people don't want to do memberships is they're like, well, my program and what I do, how I help people, it needs more than a low ticket membership. It just, a membership wouldn't get people there because they're not going to commit to a low ticket membership. You guys, your membership does not have to be low ticket. Again, it can be mid ticket, it can be high ticket. You can have high touch support memberships. But having a community, having a membership will change your business forever. Not only just your business money wise, but the people who actually go through your business, your clients, your actual members. It will change their life, which in turn will change your life with your business. And oh my God, you guys, that's only the transformation part. Again, I told you I could do an entire podcast episode on this. So I'm going to wrap that up and just know there are many, many different things I could have said of why they are so great. If you want, I can do an episode on it, but we're going to move on for this one because we have lots to cover. The next part of this is your business. So not only is it just such a good thing for your audience, for your members, but for your business. I mean, when you have a membership, you are no longer on that up and down and starting and stopping and starting and stopping every 3 months because you're launching and stopping your program and starting from the ground up again, whatever. Maybe you have some people resign, but for the most part, it's very start and stop. When you have a membership, you're not starting and stopping. You're really snowballing and you're scaling month after month after month. And the really nice thing with memberships, and again, I want you to just remember this in your head that they do not have to be low ticket, low touch, low transformation memberships, right? Because why most people pick one-on-one is because, again, they feel like they have to do high touch. Their members need them, when really it's just the way you structure it. That's a whole other episode. But when you just do one-on-one, you're really on that start stop. Whereas when you do a membership, you're constantly going. And then the other really great thing is people don't feel like they have to leave. That is one of the biggest problems when it comes to one-on-one or like group programs that have that end date to them, is that a lot of people, even if you tell them, hey, this is something that's going to take you however long. This isn't just like a one-stop thing. Like, this is going to take a while. Even if you do that, just by putting an end date on your program, so like a 3-month one-on-one coaching container or a 6-month program, whatever it is, the result that you are marketing, right? The result that you're marketing to get people into that program, combined with having a stop date on it, even if you tell people this is something that is a long-term thing, they are subconsciously already thinking that they should have their result by that stop date. And unfortunately, a lot of programs are 3 months, 4 months, 6 months. And for a lot of the journeys out there, the transformations out there, weight loss, business, whatever, relationships, they're not a 3-month or 4-month thing. It's like an ongoing thing, right? And so when you have a membership, your people don't feel forced to leave. And the really nice thing is when you have a membership and you set it up the right way, which, side note, we teach you how to do inside a $1 Million Memberships Club. If you have a success path for them, they can look in the future and see, wow, there's actually a lot of ground I have to cover. I'm going to make my nice little home in here. I'm going to make myself cozy in here. I'm going to make good relationships, and I'm going to get to work. And not only that, is when you have a membership, community starts to take over, right? When you are doing a start and stop program, you're essentially starting over your community every 3 months, every 4 months, every 6 months, whatever. Even if you have a group program, but it's start and stop, you're essentially starting that community over because people are leaving, and then you have a whole new round of people and whatever else. When you have a membership, you're just your job is really to build that community. And at a certain point, that community just starts to take over, and they market the business for you essentially, because look at community. People want to be a part of community. And when people in communities really are loving their community, are really active members of their community, they're talking about it. They're telling other people from their work or where they live or their gym or whatever. They're bringing people into this. And all of a sudden, your marketing work gets so much easier because your community is doing so much of it for you. When you build a membership, you're basically saying the growth and doubling my revenue and scaling my business, like this wild growth is inevitable because I am building community. Let's move on to the next question. That one I feel like I went on very long, and I want to keep these very quick but punchy and really concise answers. So let's see if I can do that. If you know me, I'm working on it. Okay. Number 2, what makes people want to stay and actually enjoy staying? So when you think of people coming into your community, I want you as the community founder, and it doesn't matter if you're just starting and it doesn't matter if you've had your membership for 2 years, your goal, your job is to facilitate a community. That is your job, because when you have community, that's when people want to stay, right? We've talked about that. So what really makes people want to stay inside of your community and actually enjoy staying is member to member connection. Okay, that is what you need to focus on. So really, you need to be asking yourself every single week inside of your community, are your members connecting with each other, or are they just relying on connecting to you? Do you feel like you're always in there posting and asking direct questions for people to respond to you with? Like, what is your goal right now? What are you doing for your week? I don't know, whatever it is. Are you asking questions where people are just responding to you and not encouraged to respond to each other? Because if so, that is the first thing that you really need to be focusing on. And I want to say as well, I'm answering this question with the assumption that everything else is inside of your membership. So like your success path, your content, all of the things. And now you're just really asking about how to get the community to engage. Okay. So community and member to member connection is going to be one of the biggest things here. Another huge thing here is you want to make sure that you have a success path inside of your membership. If you do not have a success path, you need to get one right away, because if you don't have one, what's going to happen is people are going to get into your membership, and yeah, they might be excited to see all the new stuff, the new content, maybe like the community is exciting to them for a little bit, but then that novelty starts to wear off. And if they don't actually know what their next steps are inside of this membership, or what they can expect to be doing inside of their membership, or how they're going to grow even more after maybe they've hit their first like 1 or 2 goals, then they don't really have a reason to stay. And so you really want to make it clear to your members what their journey looks like inside of your membership. So for example, in my membership, $1 Million Memberships Club, this membership has a massive journey, right? It literally takes a membership owner from idea, just having a membership idea, all the way to building out a multiple 6 and 7 figure membership. That's massive. Some people could stay in that membership for years, right? And there's always something for them to be doing inside of there, which is so important. So one thing that we do inside of there is, as soon as our members join, they get our checklist, they get our success path, they can see what they're actually going to be doing in each phase. And they can also see, okay, well, if I'm brand new, I'm probably going to be sticking to the first 4 phases until it builds. And once I actually get members inside, once it's actually building, that's when I'm going to be moving on to these next ones. And once I have my membership really fleshed out, everything is in there, the community is bumping, everything feels really automatic and my cadence feels great, then I'm going to spend some time on step number 8, where it's really talking about ads and scaling and growing a team. And then I'm probably going to stay there for a little while, because that's not going to be done in a month. There's some work to do there to actually scale, but it's really exciting for our members because they can see what the path is without it being overwhelming, because everything is so organized into, this is where you're going to stay, here are the chunks, don't take this all at once. Like, this path is 8 steps, but it's also separated out into chunks where you know when it's time to go to the next phase, so it's not overwhelming. And the last tip on this one kind of goes with the success path, but I would say the last one here is constant retention buildups. I think this is something that no matter what type of membership you have is really important to do. And basically what constant retention buildups are is it's like the success path where people can kind of see ahead and like see what they're going to be doing, but it's more so on the community itself. For example, well, I'll just use Million Dollar Memberships Club as an example here. So with Million Dollar Memberships Club, we have our setup guides. We have our community, but then we also have a back end of the membership, which is 8 super in-depth, detailed membership setup guides, which take you through, again, that framework from just starting to grow into 7 figures. And then we also have our template vault. So all of the plug and play that you can use to plug into your membership, grow it faster, take a ton of work off of your hands for actually getting things set up inside of your membership. So that's kind of what our members are just working on their own terms, right? That's something personal to them. They're working through that checklist at their pace. On top of that, though, we also have our 2 monthly calls. So we have a support call and we have a strategy call. On our strategy call, I'm always doing a training on that call that goes hand in hand with their framework. So it might be on launching your membership, or it might be on retention strategies, whatever it is, I'm doing a training. About midway, a little bit more than midway through the month, I am always dropping what's coming next month, what they can look forward to next month, what templates are coming next month. So our members are always excited for the next month. They always can see and look forward to what's coming, and they can always kind of envision what that's going to help them with inside of their own business. Now, if you are going to do something like this, again, I recommend just keeping it really, really simple. If you are constantly like living in fear of your members leaving, so then you just try and stuff your membership with stuff, that's going to backfire on you. People are going to get overwhelmed. So again, just make it simple. Here's the training that's coming next month. Here's the template that's coming next month. And here's how they're going to help you. Okay, second to last question. We have 2 more. Biggest mistakes you see coaches make when launching or running a membership. So I would say there's going to be a lot, actually. Okay, I have to probably do 3 or 4 here. So the first one I would say is going to be focusing on sales over community building. So I really see this, especially when someone's used to doing just one-on-one services, or doing just like one-off services or whatever it might be, is we really get into this like marketing, business, sales mode. And it's a nuance, because you need to do that. You need to market your membership. You need to sell. That's part of business. But what you really need to be focusing on is your community and building your community, because I've said this probably 5 times already inside just this this podcast alone, is your sales will start to come from your community. When you are community building, you will get people in your membership because they're hearing it from other people. And again, you don't just want to bank on that, because you are a business. You do need to market your business. But it's just such a mistake that I see is people are selling and selling and selling, and then they get people in their membership, and then they're not working on community building. And then those people leave because there's no community in the membership. Again, remember, memberships live when people are connecting with people, when there's actually a community in there. But when people are just focusing on sales and then thinking, whew, I got a client. Yes, I got a member. Amazing. I got 20 new members. That's awesome. And then they're just constantly trying to get more people in the door without actually focusing on those 20 members who are inside their membership. That is when you are in trouble, because those people are going to leave. Your retention, you're going to have a membership leaky bucket. You're literally going to have people coming in the door, but they're leaving out the back door just as fast. You're just going to have this constant churn rate, and it's going to be really stressful. And that's where you're going to want to give up on your membership. You have to really focus on building your community. The next one I would say is trying to fix engagement issues with more stuff. So you're going to find, especially if you are just starting your membership, if it's a newer membership, usually that first year of your membership is going to feel like you're really the one doing most of the community. Like you're just trying really hard to get your community going. And that's so normal, as long as you're not doing it the wrong way, in which you're working from like an audience perspective. And what I mean by that is, again, if you are really used to one on one coaching or one on one services, or just like posting on social media, maybe that's more of like an audience mindset where it's you're talking to people and you're expecting them to respond to you, right? Like you're the focal point. Whereas when you transition into owning a membership, you really need to be community minded. And so you really need to be fostering that member to member connection, getting people to really engage and connect with each other. And so as long as you're doing the latter and you're really working on the member to member, and maybe it's not perfect yet because again, maybe your membership is new and it's going to take a little while. That's so normal, but just know if you are doing that and you are putting so much energy and effort and focus into those member to member connections, that will fix your engagement issues. But what I see is people just trying to load it with stuff because they're panicking. They're thinking, oh my God, my members are hating it in here. No one's engaging. Oh my God, okay, I'm going to make a new template. Oh my God, okay, I'm going to do an extra call. I'm going to put a new module in there. Maybe that will solve it. And that's not going to solve it. That's just going to get people overwhelmed. It really needs to come from member to member connection and building a community. And the last one, I'll make this one really quick because I just did 2 episodes before this one on this topic. But the last one I would say is poor onboarding, because truly, like, the first 30 days really makes up the next 300. Your onboarding is so important. Those first impressions of your membership are so important. What people experience right away, and especially that first 48 hours, if they're seeing mistakes and broken links and they don't feel welcomed and whatever else, they're just going to be looking for what else is wrong with this membership. Oh my God, like this was a mistake. And they're already going to have their mind made up of how they feel about your membership. Even if it gets better, even if you're really trying to make it better, if that person had a bad first experience, it is way more likely that they are going to leave. If you really want to work on retention, which yes, you do, if you are a membership founder, that's huge. Your onboarding actually plays a massive part in that. And so if you want to learn more about onboarding and what actually should go into it and what mistakes you want to watch out for and all this stuff, after this episode, go back to my last 2 episodes, I believe, and I talk all about onboarding there. And the last one is how to get members to engage in a community. And as I'm reading this one, I just am realizing that I ranted so much on the other ones. I've basically answered this question already, so I'm going to answer it so quick. And the short answer for this is you need to, again, foster a community mindset instead of an audience. And I do want to talk about the community versus the audience mindset for a little bit, because I think this is something that really helped me in running a membership, and I think this is going to help you as well, because it's something that we can actually like tangibly we've experienced. When you have an audience, again, that is when you are on, let's just say like Instagram, right? When you're on Instagram and you post something, everyone is communicating to you. There's not really anything happening in your comments in terms of community. Like everyone's response is to what you said. Majority of people are commenting on what it is that you had posted. And that's what we're really used to. And if you are coming from the one-on-one coaching space, or coming from the one-on-one service providing space, or you offered one-on-one services or private services or whatever it is, you are used to being the focal point. So this one can actually be, I know this is something that I've said so many times, but I want to make it very clear. This is something that can actually be a hard habit to break because it's so ingrained in you, especially if you've been in the industry or in your industry for however long. It can be very ingrained in you. And so community building is actually a skill that you build. It's not just something that you just are born with or that you should know what to do. Like, it's truly something that you build. And I am so happy to do more episodes on community building itself. It's something that as membership founders, you're just like expected to know what to do. But so many of you who are building memberships, you're building them because of the skill that you're helping people with, or the result that you're helping people with, right? The community building really might not be, for a lot of you, your strong point, but as a membership founder, it needs to be a strong point. And so it's really important that you actually are intentional And you keep this in the back of your mind every single time that you go to post inside of your community. Just ask yourself, is this me posting from an audience mindset, or is this me posting from a community mindset? And you really want to make sure that you're always posting from that community mindset. All right, guys, that is it for this episode. And again, as long as you guys are liking these Q&A episodes, I'm going to be doing them the last Monday of every month. If you like it, let me know. I'd also really appreciate it. I would hate to just be putting something out there that you guys were like, I actually don't want this. So I would appreciate it. Head to my Instagram at the Membership Muse and send me a quick DM. Let me know if you like these Q&As and I'll make sure that I do them more. And if you have a question that you want to submit to the Q&A, to have your question answered on the podcast here in obviously detail. I tried to keep it short, but I love some detail. If you'd like your question answered, send me a message on Instagram and I'd love to answer it for you here. That is it for this one, and I will see you next week. Bye.